Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be continuing my episode reviews of Rick and Morty Season 3 with Episode 2, Rickmancing the Stone, an obvious pun from the 1984 movie Romancing the Stone. Having already reviewed Episode 1, which aired as part of a joke back in April, here are my personal thoughts on Episode 2, but before I begin, I would just like to quickly address the brand new intro, which contains some hilarious imagery we are yet to see make an appearance in future episodes, plus the show continues with its continuity, which is a huge bonus. The thing that I enjoyed most about this episode was the surprising undertone of Summer and Morty dealing with their parents' divorce. While of course this kind of subject often appears in real life scenarios, what better way for such a strange show to address the emotional scarring by jumping into a Mad Max themed post-apocalyptic society? And while Summer lusts after a poorly spoken man with a bucket on his head, Morty turns to Rick seeking reassurance about his sister's well-being and how she is coping with the divorce situation. But just like anything in this bizarre cartoon, the unexpected occurs. Rick gives Morty a huge muscular arm with a mind of its own and a taste for blood, and although purposely extreme, Morty begins to find an emotional comfort in his attacks under the blood dome, unleashing his personal problems and pent-up frustration upon those who dare to challenge him. This of course does not matter to Rick, as he credits Morty as nothing more than a distraction while he commits to other plans, and what he really has his eye on is a powerful green rock that's 100 times bigger than the one he was initially in the desert looking for in the first place. And meanwhile back at the house, Beth is actually struggling with the divorce herself, which genuinely surprised me, since she is obviously a much stronger character than Jerry. The divorce at the end of the previous episode was an interesting undeveloped plot device that I do look forward to seeing unravel further as the season progresses. This also adds a will they, won't they aspect to the show, which I quite like the idea of, as we honestly don't know whether or not Beth and Jerry will ever get back together. Overall, this episode manages to incorporate a lot of humour into difficult situations whilst also provoking Rick's selfish nature, and along with this the animation and the work that went into generating the vast post-apocalyptic world, with even greater detail to the minor background characters, really adds a large step up in quality, especially in comparison to the previous two seasons. This episode is definitely worth rewatching just to admire the creative backgrounds and the creative characters alone. And to wrap things up, an interesting comparison can be raised between the emotional issues the divorce is having on the characters and the wasteland world they are currently surrounded by, which evokes a very sudden and very strong empathy for Summer and Morty in particular, as though the divorce represents an overall much more difficult situation, surprisingly. And I very much look forward to seeing the direction this ongoing storyline goes in. I give this episode a 4 out of 5. So thanks for watching my review on Rickmancing the Stone. I hope you enjoyed. By all means you can check out my review of the season premiere episode, and you can also check out my reviews of seasons 1 and 2 on Blu-ray to hear my full thoughts on each individual episode. So be sure to leave a like down below, let me know in the comments what your favourite moment from this episode was, and please subscribe down below for more.
What?